Hello, my name is Orbis and welcome to another edition of Ranking Every Track on an Album. Today I'm going to be doing the Strokes album, The New Abnormal, which came out in 2020. So this is currently the most recent Strokes album. I'm not going to say it's the last one because I don't think they're done quite yet. But obviously this will be the last one in this series for a while. And this album I remember I was very hyped for. Because I think I became a Strokes fan not long before this album was announced, and it was very exciting because it had been a long time since the last Strokes album. Because before this, it had been 7 years since the last album, Come Down Machine, which came out in 2013, I believe. There was that EP that came out in the middle, but yeah, it had been a long time, so it was very exciting. And I loved the singles that came out. And when the album eventually came out, I'm pretty sure it was probably my most played album of that year. I just could not stop listening to it. So yeah, basically I love this album, and I think it's their best album since Room on Fire, straight up, because I think it's more consistent than every album since Room on Fire. I wouldn't say I love every track, but yeah, it's a pretty consistent album. Not is this it consistent. It's not that level, but and the songs I do love on this album I really love. So let's get started with the ranking. At the bottom I put Eternal Summer, which is probably a not too uncommon pick for the bottom ranking. It's probably the only song I maybe just don't like. It has sections that I like, but overall it's a very messy song, and it's kind of all over the place. Because I think basically the backstory of this song is that I think it's Rick Rubin's idea. He got the whole band to record a really long, maybe not jam session, but it was a really long recording, and kind of cut it up into one seamless song, which is why it feels so weird. Kind of everything feels out of place. It's because it kind of is. It's an interesting experiment, but as a song I think it's the weakest one on the album. So second to last, and it surprised me that I ranked this low, I put Bad Decisions, which I think was one of the first singles, and at the time I really liked it, and yeah, I did have it on repeat for a while, but I guess over time it did the opposite of grow on me. That isn't to say that I don't like it. I do like it. It's just that I guess the other songs on the album I ended up liking more. Maybe it's because by the time the album came out I was slightly tired of Bad Decisions. But it's been so long since the album came out and my opinion hasn't really changed, so yeah, Bad Decisions, something about it, I don't like it as much as the other tracks. Maybe it's because the chorus can sometimes get a bit annoying, but I don't know, I don't really have any problem with the song. It's just, yeah, I guess I like other songs more. Next up I put Selfless, which is a very popular track, so I might get some flack for ranking that one low, but even when the album first came out and I was loving it and I kept having it on repeat, I remember this song just never really did it for me in the way that other tracks did. I do still enjoy it. It's a well constructed song with some great playing from the band, a great guitar solo. I think maybe something about Julian's vocals on it I'm not big on, but again I don't really have a problem with the song. I just like other tracks more. Next up I've put Brooklyn Bridge, that's not the name of it, Brooklyn Bridge, the chorus, which I believe, I don't know if you would call it a single, but it was one of the first, it was a song that came out before the album. I think it was the last one released before the album, and I remember I was quite disappointed by it when it first came out. I was like, this is easily the weakest of the singles, and I don't think it's one of the best tracks on the album, but it grew on me like really way more than I thought it would. I think I just didn't like it at first. I don't know why. I think didn't really like the synths on it. I thought it was kind of cliche, but I think it's a great track. I really like it. I enjoy it. So yeah. And next up, I've gone with Not the Same Anymore. Now I think the interesting thing about this album is the slow tracks are the best tracks. The slow tracks are kind of the real stars on this album. And although I'm putting, I guess this is technically the weakest one. No, I guess Selfless is kind of slow, I don't know. But yeah, Not the Same Anymore. Similar vibe as some of the other songs, but not as strong. Here, it's a similar vibe to like Out to the Mets, but maybe not as good. But I think it's a great track with some great vocals, and yeah, it's good. So next up, I've put Why Are Sundays So Depressing, which is a fantastic track. I can't really think of anything to say about it, to be honest. I think it's just great. So we are now in the top 3, and at number 3. And by the way, I did struggle with the top 3, deciding the order, because I think all these songs are like, all 3 of these songs are top tier Strokes songs in my opinion, probably in my top 10 favourites. So at number 3, I've gone with Ode to the Mets, which is the closer, and I don't remember if this was actually released as a single, but it was the first song from the album that I heard, because I remember they played the song live alongside the announcement of the new album, and I remember I had that live version on repeat before any actual songs from the album were actually released. I already listened to this track so many times, but I heard the live version so many times that when the actual version came out, it was kind of a problem, because a lot of the differences felt weird at first. But eventually I got used to it, and yeah, this is an amazing track. Really great vocals from Julian, and yeah, it's very melancholy. And I think at the time when the album came out, I did consider this to be my favourite track for quite a while. But I guess on my re-listen for this video, it wasn't my favourite. So number 2, I've put the opener, The Adults Are Talking, which I think is the most popular track on the album now. I think on Spotify it has like 300,000 listens. It's probably in their top most listened to tracks, which I guess isn't that surprising. I think it's incredible, and kind of unique. I don't think there's any other Strokes songs like it. The guitar line is great, and Julian's vocals are really good. I like how it's kind of slightly whispered. It's interesting. And yeah, it's a Strokes classic now. But at number 1, I've put At the Door, which was one of the singles, and I think it kind of blew me away when it came out. This is, well, maybe not immediately, because I think immediately I was quite caught off guard by it at first, because it's very unusual for a Strokes song, because it's so synth heavy. I think there are guitars on it, but it's not a very guitar-y song. So at first I didn't really know what to make of it, but after a few listens, it grew on me more and more, and yeah, I kind of realised, yeah, this is an amazing song. And even though Ode to the Mets, I think it was my favourite when the album came out. In the years since, I think At the Door has kind of risen up. It's just something about that synth line and the vocals and everything about it is very melancholy. It kind of Radioheady, I guess. Yeah, this song's incredible. Great lyrics, actually. Probably one of the best Strokes lyrics I've ever heard. And God, yeah, it's kind of a masterpiece, honestly. Is it my favourite Strokes song of all time? Honestly, I don't know. I don't know what my favourite Strokes song is. They have too many good ones. So yeah, I guess, yeah, I'm done with the ranking. So thank you for watching. Let me know what your opinion is on my ranking. Let me know how terrible it is, and tell me your ranking yeah, tell me your ranking, because I think it's interesting to see other people's rankings. I don't get offended if a song I like is low. I think it's interesting to have a discussion and just discuss a band that we like and enjoy, because that's what it's all about. So thank you for watching, and leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you want to see more, and hopefully I'll see you again very, very soon. Okay, goodbye.